Since we last saw our long friend Vanguard Cheetah, he had been travelling with his part-time babysitter, Softie Tiger, who is also a retired protector of a city. Vanguard and Softie had been travelling aboard Softie's flying wooden train with Vanguard's friend, Sam Bingo, and also his sister, Penny, travelling to North City after school to get some seafood before flying back home in South City. The problem was that Sam had accidentally put in North Pole to the flying train's autopilot, and now they've flown all the way up to the North Pole, the most dangerous and secure place in the world, on Christmas Eve. So let's sit down around this little campfire that we call life, and catch up on the stories of Vanguard as he learns his first lesson that the true adventure only starts when things go wrong.
Penny, open the burners on high and divert half of that thrust capacity to the back boosters. We need to increase altitude and fly away as quickly as we can out of the North Pole airspace. If we drop too low, they'll be able to use their tractor beam to pull us down,
Softie said. On the ground, North Pole aerial defense elves ran to their stations, loading missiles into their launchers.
Why, I thought North Pole is the friendliest place in the world,
Sam said.
Friendliest place? They make enough toys each year so that every kid in the world has at least 2 or 3 toys for Christmas. They are the strictest, hardest working people in the world. Spiky and I had a run-in with them 10 years ago, and they didn't even like it when we used a flare gun to save a seal from being bitten by a killer whale, because it stopped them working for half an hour. I don't think they'll be that kind on Christmas Eve.
Vanguard looked worried.
I don't know what I can do, Softie. What can I do?
They looked at Vanguard and Sam.
Who's better at shooting games?
I am, Sam said, without hesitation.
Okay. Sam, lower on the gun turret. Shoot down any missiles coming towards us. Vanguard, I want you navigating. The flying train can only reach the top of the troposphere. Any more, and we lose burn. Make sure we don't fly too high. Aye, aye, Softie,
Sam said.
But what is the troposphere?
Vanguard asked. But Softie was no longer listening, as Penny called him over to the back of the train because they were burning up too much fuel too quickly. Vanguard tried to remember what Penny had taught him in their study sessions, but the only thing he could remember at that moment was how to climb up ropes from his book, The Trusty Explorer's Survival Guide, which wasn't very useful at all. He wished that he could remember more from school.
Higher, Vanguard,
Softie called out.
Missiles incoming!
A red and white striped missile flew towards the train. Sam aimed the barrel at the missile and shot rounds at it. The missile blew up in a flash of green and red.
Awesome! We made it!
Softie cheered. It started getting colder. Vanguard heard Penny scream out something.
Our angle of attack is too high. Vanguard, how high are we? 12 kilometers and rising?
Vanguard read the screen.
What is an angle? Is that something to do with degrees, like temperature?
Penny slapped her hand on her forehead.
Too high, too high,
Softie said.
Vanguard, you are supposed to stay at 10 kilometers to be in the troposphere.
Penny groaned. They started to fall as their engine spluttered and froze over. Black smoke burst out from the thrusters.
We're falling!
They screamed.
Ah!
The plane descended rapidly. The snow-caked earth got bigger and bigger as the train got closer and closer to the ground. Softie pulled himself to a lever and lanked.
Emergency parachute release!
Softie shouted. 2 giant parachutes deployed from the front and the back of the train.
Everyone, brace yourselves. If we survive this and get captured, be ready to be on your best behavior,
Softie warned. The flying wooden train was floating no more. The burner for the hot air balloon stopped burning. The train hit the snowy ground with a tremendous thud. The landing felt like slow motion. Vanguard crashed into the wall. The door on the burner sprung open. He saw his trusty explorer's guide fly off the table and into the burner.
No!
Vanguard cried, but he couldn't do anything. His head hurt too much. The world became dim as Vanguard started to black out. After a while, Vanguard woke up. His head felt heavy. He noticed that someone had bandaged his head.
Are you trying to stop Christmas?
Someone asked him in a very rushed voice. Vanguard looked at it. It was an elf.
Hey, elf. My friends and I flew over North City by accident. Can you let us go?
Vanguard asked the elf.
I can't. I'm not supposed to talk to you, otherwise I'll be in trouble with the boss.
The elf said.
You really disturbed operations. We're now 10 minutes late for delivery this year. I'm sorry,
Vanguard said.
We'll put you through the naughty or nice test. If you are naughty, then we will throw you into the coal mines until you become nice. If you are nice, then we will let you go,
the elf said. Vanguard heard some heavy footsteps. Thud, thud, thud.
Ho, ho, ho! Who dares to stop Christmas?
Santa Claus looked at Vanguard.
Lord Santa Claus,
Vanguard exclaimed.
I didn't think you were real.
Santa Claus huffed and waved a candy cane-colored scanner over Vanguard.
Ho, ho, ho! You are the only one who's completely nice in your group. All of your friends are only partly nice, so they will work in the coal mines for at least a week before we send them back. What do you have to say for yourself, Vanguard Cheetah? Do you want us to put you on the next reindeer back to South City?
Vanguard thought about his friends and family. He thought of Softie and how nice Softie had been, looking after Vanguard, how he climbed Spiky's mountain just because Vanguard wanted to experience a real adventure. He thought of Sam and how Sam always stood by Vanguard at school, even though he always daydreamed. Even his sister Penny was always looking out for him in her own annoying way. It wasn't fair that he could go back home while his friends had to stay in the North Pole, working in a coal mine. And then he thought of his mum. She must be worried sick that they hadn't gone back home yet. Sam's parents still needed to wait for their son to come home too. He needed to do something to go back home with his friends. Vanguard's heart sank. He had to talk his way out of this. For once he wished that he was as good at arguing as Penny, but as the trusty survival book says, he must adapt to what he got.
I also see that the thing you want this Christmas is a trusty Explorer's Survival Guide, an inflatable raft, a Swiss Army knife, and an instant fire-starting kit. You really want to be an explorer, little cheetah,
Santa laughed.
That's not the main reason why I want those items. To be honest, I don't really need any of them. Presents are nice, but they really only hide the thing that I truly want. I only want the Trusty Explorer's Survival Guide because my dad got me that on my 7th birthday, just before he went missing. What I want most of all is for my friends to go back home with me tonight. We all have families who will miss us. I don't want them to be worried on the most special night of the year.
Santa Claus frowned.
The naughty or nice scanner has never been wrong. I've been using that for more than 100 years now. It has detected that everyone we've given presents to has been happier from the presents we've given them on Christmas.
But why does it think I need more when I only need one? Santa, you are the expert in gift giving, but all I want for Christmas is for my friends and family to be together, not some accessories to being an explorer,
Vanguard said.
I think giving gifts is still important, and I'm sure that everyone gets a bit excited about receiving a gift. But Christmas to me is about sharing happiness between friends and family. I know North Pole can't bring people together as a Christmas present usually, but you can do it for tonight.
Santa Claus scratched his beard.
Well, giving presents has always been what we've done. And lately, we've been increasing the number of presents each person is getting, but the overall Christmas happiness we find is getting lower and lower. I suppose maybe you might be onto something, little cheetah. The whole point of Christmas is for everyone you love to be together, not about rewarding people who have been naughty or nice throughout the year.
Then, can I make another wish? Vanguard asked. Instead of doing present making as efficiently as possible with a scanner, maybe you can ask everyone what they really want.
Okay, little cheetah, you've convinced me.
They wheeled out all of Vanguard's friends. They were still tied up to hand trolleys with tinsel foil, much stronger tinsel foil than the ones people decorate their houses with. Softie looked like he was still struggling against his bounds, while Sam looked bored and Penny just straight up annoyed.
Okay, everyone, you only have one wish for Christmas, and Santa will do everything he can to make it happen.
Vanguard told them as elves loosened the tinsel foil.
That is his promise to us.
Santa nodded in affirmative.
Sam Bingo, tell me, what do you truly want for Christmas?
Santa Claus asked.
I wish that my parents would pay more attention to me instead of always trying to save the world,
Sam said.
What about you, Softie Tiger?
Santa asked.
I wish that I can be more adventurous again, so that I can set a good example for Vanguard and any other kid who wants to be an adventurer,
Softie answered.
I wish that I don't need to be so much of an adult all the time, so that I can have fun like a real kid. I wish Dad was still around, so that the load can be taken off Mum,
Penny whispered.
Same,
Vanguard agreed. Santa was deep in thought.
I can make those things happen quite easily without making a single present. You have given me a lot to think about, Vanguard Cheetah, especially about what I want North Pole to be like. Maybe I can even ask the elves for their input on what they believe Christmas should be like. But right now, I can grant your wishes by sending you back to North City via the flying wooden train.
Santa clapped his hands.
Elves, how quickly can you fix Softie's flying train?
Yes, boss, we already did it while you were talking just then. We couldn't help ourselves. We've never seen anything so fun,
one of the elves said sheepishly.
Well, then I guess I'll send you on your merry way,
Santa hollered.
Wait 1 minute,
one of the elves said. He ran up to Vanguard and handed him a copy of the trusty Explorer's Survival Guide.
It is my wish that you take this. I am the sole maker of this book, and it gives me no higher happiness when someone loves something that I make as much as you do.
He grinned at Vanguard.
Thank you.
Vanguard bowed.
It's not the copy that my dad gave me, but as the book always says, I must adapt to what I got.
Yes, sir,
the elf laughed.
Excellent. Time for you to head home. I'll ask the reindeers to start you off.
Santa laughed. Everyone got on, and a reindeer with a brightly coloured nose wrapped a rope around the flying wooden train before pulling it straight into the sky.
Yippee!
Sam shouted.
What a journey,
Softie nodded.
I got to read that book of yours sometime, Vanguard.
Penny started dancing in the carriage.
I can't believe that we met Santa Claus,
she giggled. Vanguard looked out over the frosty, magical North Pole City as Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer whooshed them across the sky. Fireworks shot up below them, and a dazzling show of frosty light-filled flowers.
I hope Santa Claus can bring back my dad.
Down below, Santa loaded the last present into his own sleigh and nodded.
Vanguard is going to have an adventure of his lifetime to bring back his dad.
And with that ends our little Christmas and New Year's story. I hope that you got the present that you truly needed this Christmas, and that you are surrounded by people who love you and care for you. So now the embers of our story are getting dark again, A new exciting year awaits, and I hope to see you sometime soon.